fam, welcome back to my channel. Today I have a monthly message for all of the Cancers out in the collective. Please note this is going to be a general reading, so it's not going to resonate with every single Cancer out in the collective. I ask that you take with you what resonates and leave the rest behind. If you are new to my channel, welcome to Eileen Into Spirit. My name is Eileen Rouse. I'm a psychic intuitive and a spiritual essence coach, and I provide you with guidance, wisdom, and inspiration every other week right here on this channel. Without further ado, Cancer, let's go ahead and get right into your monthly message. All right, Cancer, you know the drill. This is going to be a 9-card draw, so let's get shuffling. What information and what insight can you offer Cancer this month? Okay, Cancer, we are starting out at the Two of Swords. This is where you currently are. So I feel like a lot of you are at a crossroads. You're either at a standstill or you're at a crossroads. You're having to make a specific choice. You're unsure about where you're going, what you're doing. Maybe you've been given a specific choice that you need to make and you're not sure what choice to actually make. I feel like when it comes to this decision, I feel like you're just all up in your head about it. And I feel like you kind of need to I think you need to sort of not try to overanalyze it as much. Know that, this crossroads that you're at, it's really because where you were has completely ended. So you're now moving in a new direction. And so you're needing to sort of utilize your intuition here, Cancer, to sort of help you figure out, at the heart of you, like at the core, at your center, what is it that you're truly desiring? I feel like a lot of you out in the collective are really needing to learn to sort of balance and sort of come to a place of understanding here, Cancer, that you're needing to sort of follow your heart. You're needing to follow your gut. You're needing to work on yourself. Start doing things for yourself. I feel it's really about coming into balance with who you are. So this is kind of what I'm sort of picking up here for you. So let's go ahead and dive right in because I've got a lot of information coming through for you here, Cancer. So where you currently are is the Two of Swords. And as I said, this is sort of like at a standstill. The Two of Swords really often speaks about a stalemate, where you have two different roads. You're unsure about which direction to take because there's a lot of uncertainty, a lot of unknown. You're not familiar with this new territory that you're sort of embarking upon. But I do want to point out here that this is really an opportunity for you to really learn and grow. Not only sort of learn about new opportunities and new experiences in this, but also understand that where you've come from, that chapter in your life has sort of closed. So you're now sort of needing to come to a better understanding of where you're going in a new direction here. So I do want to point out that, where you currently are, understand that there is no mistake. I want to point that out very clearly. I feel that this whole new direction, this new opportunity that sort of presented itself to you here, Cancer, is really an opportunity for you to sort of reflect on where you've been, reflect on what you've experienced, and really start to really ask yourself, what other things do I really want to experience? Is there something more that I'm wanting to really embark upon or learn or sort of experience that I haven't done in the past? Okay. Now, what is your theme this month? You have Hermit energy here as your theme this month. And what I really feel this represents here, Cancer, is that you're doing that introspection. You're doing that deep soul searching within yourself, where you're really starting to understand what it is that your heart truly desires, what it is that you truly desire. And I feel that this is sort of aligning you with your own inner truth. It's almost like a part of you that has sort of been in the background for a very long time is now sort of starting to come to the surface. And this is sort of like an awakening period for you to truly understand who you really are and sort of allow yourself to be that individual. The Hermit is really about exploring and going on this new journey inward, right? Understanding that everything that your heart desires, everything that you really truly need is already within you. And it's really about you exploring the depths of that. Now, what are you accomplishing here? You have Temperance. And I feel that what you are truly accomplishing is a full transformation. You know, one thing about Temperance is it's really about patience, and it's about really understanding that the alchemy of how things transition from one phase into another. And I feel that this whole month is really that. It's really about you understanding that the month of May is about transitioning from one phase of your life into the next phase of your life. And I feel this is going to really help you understand yourself a little bit better. I feel you're going to become more enlightened and awakened to who you truly are, what you truly want. And I feel like you're going to start really working on yourself. I feel that what you're going to find is that you're going to recognize that all of the things that you've experienced from the past have sort of led up to this moment, this one point in time here, Cancer. And you're going to understand that now it's time for you to sort of call in your own inner resources. You know, your guides, your angels, all of your spirit team to sort of help guide you on this new journey that seems a little daunting, that seems a little frightening for you. Now, what do you need to avoid? You have the World here. Now, I find this very interesting because the World is really about a completion. It's really about the point in our life when we come to a very deep understanding, an awakening, an enlightenment about what it is that we've truly accomplished, right? And now that it's time to sort of move on. I feel that what you're needing to avoid here with this is don't get caught up in the actual experiences, okay? Because understand that when you have the World here, Cancer, it truly represents a full completion. It's almost like there are cycles to each and everything, and everything always comes full circle. That phrase is just sort of stuck in my mind here. Everything always comes full circle. And once you approach the end of that circle, there's no need to repeat it. So I feel this is what you need to avoid. Avoid repeating repeated patterns or cycles, experiences that you've already learned, right? Understand that if you try to duplicate an experience that you've already experienced, understand that there's nothing to be gained of that, right? This is really about you learning to close the door to that chapter and allow a new door to open so that you could then move on towards something better, something that will help you become more awakened to who you are and sort of help you have that deeper understanding and knowledge of what you're really wanting to experience in this life. Now, what do you need to embrace? You have Justice. And I feel that what this is this is really about you learning to balance both the light and the dark, the duality of who you are, the feminine, the masculine, you know, the good, the bad, everything within you. Understand that I feel a lot of times humanity sort of looks at everything outside of them. But what people don't really understand is that what you witness on the outside of you is just a reflection of what's inside of you, right? So everything that is experienced inside of you it reflects itself outwardly. So that's how you see it outside of you. So when you find the discord and the dissonance outside of you, understand that that is within you, and that is what you're really needing to embrace. You're needing to embrace the uncomfortableness. Embrace the duality that you often find within you. I understand that it's very uncomfortable, Cancer, to really allow ourselves to immerse ourselves in knee-deep crap sometimes, right? But I feel that we have to examine that. We have to reflect with that. We have to really allow ourselves to see things intuitively. Because where you currently are with the Two of Swords is you've been blinded, right? And what that truly signifies to me is that you need to really utilize your intuition. You are a water sign, and I feel that water is one of those that's it's an emotional base, right? And water often represents the emotion. But because it's a sword, it tells me that, you often sort of float into your mind and you overanalyze everything and you overcomplicate things. And that's what gets you so riled up and so emotional. And so what you're needing to really embrace is embrace the duality of where you are, okay? Understanding that where you are is where you are. And it doesn't mean that you're not in the right place. It doesn't mean that you're not doing something good, right? And I feel that's a lot of times people get so hung up about where they are or where they're not. And understand that where you are is where you are. You have to learn to embrace that. And I feel that's what this is really wanting you to do. Justice is really about aligning yourself with your inner truth. It's really about understanding that the sword of truth, the sword that we often yield is double-edged, right? We can use it to, protect us. We can also use it to hurt us. So how you wield your own sword is ultimately dependent upon you here, Cancer. Now, what is the obstacle that you're going to face? You have the Eight of Pentacles here. And I feel that the obstacle in this is that I feel that, when we have an Eight of Pentacles, it's really about learning to master a specific skill, a talent, something that we are ultimately great at. But I feel that what this ultimately means for you, Cancer, is that you have a tendency to overwork to the point that you beat it until there's nothing left of it. And again, understand that what you're needing to avoid is repeating the same cycle. That is ultimately what Spirit is wanting you to understand here. So if you overwork something, if you overthink something, if you overanalyze something, if you allow your emotions to get the best of you here, then you're sort of beating a dead bush. And there's nothing else that's going to come out of a dead bush. So understand that your obstacle is really going to be you needing to sort of go with the flow, to be patient and to understand that there are cycles to each and everything. There is a time and there is a place for when, it's a lot like how we look. So we're in the spring, right? And when we are planting, we always plant in the spring. We never plant in the winter, because in the winter, that is when things become dormant, right? That is how things sort of allow themselves to sort of rest and reflect. And so I want you to really understand that, when you are working on yourself, or when you're working on something, or when you're working on a project, you're working on something, whatever it might be here, Cancer, understand that you have to come into alignment with the truth of what is really going on. And when you can do that, you'll begin to sort of see how things will change. When you allow yourself to stop trying to make things work the way that you want them to work, I think you'll begin to really see the path itself will actually pave itself for you. You'll understand very clearly, where it is that you're going and what it's meant to represent for you. And I feel that's what's really needing to transpire here. Now, your support this month is the Five of Wands, which means that this is a learning and a teaching experience for you. You're sort of in training here. You're in training to truly understand, who you are, what you're capable of, where your potential power is, how things are going to ultimately change for you. And I think that what you need to understand about that is, if you're used to just sort of pushing through nonstop, at rapid pace, I feel what this is really wanting you to understand is that you can't force things to happen. Things have their own divine timing. And I know a lot of times people don't want to hear that, Cancer. But what I feel Spirit is really saying here is that the truth of the reality is that there is a certain time and place for when things transpire in your life. You can't force them. You can't push them. You just have to allow them to be. And your support is learning that, right? It's experiencing that, understanding that the resistance that you feel with that is something that you need to sort of come into balance with, that you need to sort of let go, right? Allow that cycle of the resistance that you feel sort of dissipate, right? That's where that self-reflection and introspection comes in, and allowing your intuition to guide you in that aspect. Now, what is your action? You have the Two of Wands, and I feel that your action is really, plan, right? Really organize, really, allow yourself to figure out what your next move is. You don't have to have everything set in stone, but I want to point out here, Cancer, is that, with the Two of Wands, it's really about, understanding that this wand that is behind her here truly represents all of the experiences and achievements that she achieved long ago. She's now holding on to a new wand, which means that one phase of her life has come to an end, and now she's wanting to plan and organize what the next phase of her life is. And that is your action this month, okay? Your action is to start planning and organizing. How do you want your life to be different? What is one thing that you were really wanting to accomplish that you feel is absolutely impossible, but if you actually put forth a little bit of effort, if you actually, look at it strategically and sort of figure out how you can make that achievable by taking action steps towards it, you'll begin to actually see your life unfold. You'll begin to see things sort of pan out, and things sort of come you'll sort of start to see it come together, okay? Now, what is your advice and your encouragement? You have the Four of Swords here. And I feel that your advice and your encouragement with this Four of Swords, Cancer, is really about, take a rest when you need a rest. Understand, again, I keep bringing up the word cycles because that is one thing that they keep showing me. I keep seeing that with the World and with Temperance. They keep showing me the infinity symbol. And when I see the infinity symbol, what it truly represents to me is the cycles, right? The cycles that we often tend to repeat when we're not allowing ourselves to go with the flow, right? The resistance that we often feel. With the Four of Swords, I feel that what it's really representing for you here, Cancer, is that it's wanting you to sort of allow yourself to take a step back. Reflect on all your past victories, all your successes. Allow your intuition to guide you and speak to you. Sometimes you have to take a step back and you have to allow yourself rest, because that is how we heal. That is how we grow. Understand that when I'm looking at this vertically right here with this last line, I see Temperance, the Eight of Pentacles with the Four of Swords. And remember, your obstacle was really about working yourself too much. It was about really, going the 10th mile, when really Spirit needs you to say, hey, step back. And the one way that they're showing this to me here is that, there are moments when I'm really focused. I'm dead focused on working on something. And when I'm really focused on something and my computer starts to glitch or something's not working, I get very impatient. And when that impatience sort of comes up, that anger starts to come forward, right? And then I get frustrated. I start yelling. I start huffing and puffing. That doesn't solve anything, right? You're allowing yourself to react instead of respond to the given situation. And I've often found that when that particularly happens, what Spirit really wants us to do is it wants us to take a step back, right? Because there's something in that particular experience. Maybe by you taking a step back and sort of reflecting, like really looking at everything, you might recognize, oh, well, there's a mistake here. Maybe this is the reason why it's not working. And so that's the whole reason why the Four of Swords is here for you. It is your advice and your encouragement. When you allow yourself to take a step back, you sort of detach yourself for a moment. You sort of step out of that thinking mode and allow yourself to sort of tune in to that higher guidance, right? With this Justice and this Two of Swords. And by really truly tuning in to that heart coherence, or that, tuning into that intuition from the heart, you're really able to see a clearer picture. You have a better understanding of what's currently going on. So Cancer, this is your message. I feel this is a very straightforward message for you, and I feel that this is going to be a very good month for you. I feel that the part where you're going to struggle, though, is going to be where you're going to want to sort of trailblaze through everything this month, and you're going to want to move quick. And Spirit is really saying, slow down. Really slow down. That is ultimately your message. Slow down, allow your intuition to sort of speak to you, and really take action from the heart. Okay, so let's go ahead and draw from the Lightworker Oracle deck and see what additional information Spirit has for you here, Cancer. So what additional information and insight can you offer Cancer this month, Spirit? What additional information and insight can you offer Cancer this month? What additional information and insight can you offer Cancer? Okay, that was quick. All right, so we have, oh, beautiful. Okay, number 24, initiation by air. So I absolutely love this. There are, I am going to read from the book because I love the actual verbiage, the message that comes through with these cards. And I feel that ultimately what this particular card really means here is that it's really going to talk about your mind, right? Understanding, now this is where you are. You're at the Two of Swords, and the Two of Swords is that you're all up in your head, and you need to sort of step out of your head and really allow your intuition to guide you. So here's what number 24, initiation by air, says for you here, Cancer. You have a strong and powerful mind. The mind can be a great asset. It can bring comfort, peace, and strength as you take your spiritual journey. It can also be a dark and destructive force, undermining your power, making you doubt your own heart, and keeping you trapped in fear. The mind, developed without a loving spiritual practice, can be a frightening weapon rather than a liberating sword. How will you choose to use your mind power? Your mind can become more spacious and luminous if you practice emptying it on a regular basis. The radiant mind can be a mighty warrior against fear and despair, encouraging you with thoughts of optimism. When not given a chance to empty, however, the mind becomes overwhelmed with unprocessed information. Much of it will be fear-based programming perpetuated by mass media, which is invested in controlling others and manipulating them by fear. This initiation, which liberates and opens the mind, empowers advanced souls to free themselves from manipulation and control. Your mind is a powerful creature. Tame it with persistence, compassion, kindness, and strength. Give yourself rest and an opportunity to switch off and empty your mind as regularly as you can. There is no need to judge or despair. This is an advanced initiation and one that is brought to you only when you are ready. Consider it a sign of your spiritual progress. The world will benefit from you as you learn to handle your mental energies more constructively. This oracle is indeed an omen of greater peace and happiness in your imminent future. Cancer, this is an absolutely beautiful message. It literally speaks to everything I pointed out that the Tarot sort of identified for you this month. So I thank you so much for joining me here, Cancer, and I look forward to seeing you next time with your new message. Namaste, guys.